Barcelona will destroy Paris Saint-Germain, like we just showed you. Don't believe it? You will see it yourself very soon. Yes, Barca are not considered a favorite in a battle with the Parisians, and their overall chances of winning the Champions League are even lower than Borussia Dortmund's. But these odds will skyrocket as soon as Xavi's team knocks out PSG out of the tournament, and thus the Blaugrana will be the number 2 favorite in the draw. Barcelona should enjoy their current position. For the first time since 2020, the team has reached the quarterfinals of the Champions League, where they are considered an underdog that no one is betting on. This is a definite advantage for the team that has played its most disappointing matches under Xavi with external pressure. If this Barca team with 16-year-old Yamal and 17-year-old Cubarsi is knocked out by Paris Saint-Germain with Kylian Mbappe and Ousmane Dembele, it'll be a sad but not catastrophic outcome. The team is free from pressure and sky-high expectations, and Xavi was right when he said that the team will be liberated after he announced his departure. The coach just gave everyone a second chance in what seemed to be a completely failed season. This moment with the announcement of his departure became a starting point for everyone. Xavi, knowing that he had a few months left to work, got a fresh breath. The coach surprises again with his tactical decisions and finds the keys to beat the opponents in every match. The team reset. They began to train and play more intensively, and in their interviews, all the players repeat as one that they will fight for Xavi to the death. And some of them directly say that they want Xavi to change his mind and stay in charge of the team. So, the psychological condition is Barcelona's advantage against Paris Saint-Germain, for whom elimination from the Champions League will be considered a disaster, and even more so against the backdrop of Kylian Mbappe's 99% leaving for Real Madrid next summer. Like this video if you're rooting for Barca in this match. Xavi knows how to calm his team down and motivate them for important matches, and after the victory over Napoli, many noted how aggressively the Barca coach behaved at the press conference. "I told the players to stay calm. Nobody was gonna die today. The press were saying we were the buffoons in the Champions League." Unfair criticism from journalists. Was that necessary? Are we still the buffoons? This was a direct appeal to El País journalist Ramon Bessa, who called Barca the buffoon of Europe after their defeat to Shakhtar in the UCL group stage. The case shows several important things. Firstly, Xavi is a locker room leader and always takes full responsibility liberating his players. Secondly, Xavi shows that he can motivate the team perfectly through the use of criticism, a technique that Pep Guardiola and especially Jose Mourinho were famous for. And thirdly, Xavi protects the club and the team, believing that Barca are attacked very often and for any reason. He's totally club's man, and this is very much appreciated by both players and management. Everyone is ready to fight for this kind of coach. At the same time, the atmosphere at PSG is not the best. First of all, because of
surprise, surprise,
Kylian Mbappe. Yes, he is still the most lethal weapon of the Paris club, but he's also the biggest problem. The way Kylian behaved during the halftime of the match against Monaco after being replaced is a display of disrespect for the club, where you are also the captain. After the leak of information about the forward's departure in the summer, Paris head coach Luis Enrique began to leave Kylian on the bench more often, either not in the starting lineup or replacing him after the break or in the second half. Despite beating Sociedad in the round of last 16, where Mbappe scored 3 of the team's 4 goals, PSG's performance wasn't convincing enough to be considered Champions League favorites. And the constant tension with Kylian creates a nervous atmosphere in the locker room when it feels like Mbappe is bigger than club and can do what he wants and how he wants. Quite a toxic atmosphere, isn't it? Paris Saint-Germain despise and hate Barcelona. This is manifested in the following moments, which were reported by the popular news account and website Barça Universal. A conversation during a PSG training session back in August 2023. Kylian Mbappe to Ousmane Dembele during PSG training. "You're coming from Barca. Why aren't you singing?" Lucas Hernandez then replies, "How can that shit team teach you how to sing?" And so in many ways. However, the truth is that even now the first team is led by Luis Enrique, a man from the Barcelona system. Paris Saint-Germain are always looking to buy out Barca's best players. It happened with Neymar, Messi, and now Ousmane Dembele. Recently, the media reported that Paris offered Barca 200 million euros for Lamine Yamal. And the Parisians also dream of the transfer of Frenkie and Xavi. Some kind of Paris Saint-Barça, not Saint-Germain. PSG hate Barcelona because of the 2016 remontada and because of the story of the broken transfer of Verratti in the summer of 2017. According to football legends, Paris decided to take revenge by buying Neymar, but it seems to us that Verratti had nothing to do with it. It's just that Al Hilaifi and Qatar wanted to make a loud statement at the top level. Paris also hate Real Madrid because of their hunt for Mbappe. It seems that PSG have not yet grown mentally in terms of football and often behave quite hysterically. Barcelona will have many reasons to take revenge on Paris, especially for the last defeat at the Camp Nou, 1-4 with Mbappe's hat-trick. This time, Barca cannot allow themselves such a failure. Xavi knows the main strengths of Enrique's team, just as Luis knows Barcelona very well as he continues to follow the club as a fan. So it'll be a very interesting tactical duel. Luis Enrique plays a classic 4-3-3, where players are shuffled around according to the tactical plan for the game and to adapt to the opponent. Xavi also uses a 3-3 formation, but Barcelona's structure includes a false defender, Andreas Christensen, who plays the role of John Stones in Manchester City and operates both in the holding midfield area and in the center of defense. It's no secret that PSG's main weapon is ball control plus a rapid transition to the attacking phase using fast wings, where Mbappe, Dembele, Barcola and Lee show their qualities. Here, for example, is Barcola's goal against Sociedad in the first match. A smooth transition to attack, acceleration, individual play, and a goal. And here's the first goal in the return leg. Dembele passes from the center of the pitch to Mbappe, who is in the free zone in half wing. Kylian got space and took advantage of it. And the second goal is a real tactical masterclass in getting out from under the pressure and PSG's most lethal weapon in action. A rapid transition from the defensive phase to the attacking phase. Just a few seconds and flying Mbappe gets away 1-1. Any team will lose to Paris Saint-Germain if they play like this and with such a high defensive line. Sociedad had to take risks because the team lost the first match 2-0, but Barcelona will have a choice how to play. Among the latest interesting things from the PSG camp, we note Zaire Emery's play on the right side of the defense in the match against Nice. The 18-year-old prodigy played phenomenally, and therefore, we should not exclude that Enrique will employ this tactical trick in the matches against Barca to have more control in the center of the pitch, as Warren can simultaneously cover the right-back position and transform into a central midfielder, switching PSG's tactical scheme to a 3-2-2-3. Luis Enrique is one of the best current coaches who plays modern progressive football. With two wizards on the attacking flanks in Barcelona, Messi and Neymar, he won the Champions League. And therefore, this version of PSG is in some ways a monster, except that the midfield and defense are not as elite as the attack. If we compare Barca and PSG's midfield, the advantage will be on the Catalan side despite the absence of Xavi and Pedri. Blaugrana have balanced their game by transferring Christensen to the midfield, and now the team plays more compact football. Frenkie de Jong should recover for the first game, and therefore Barca will most likely play a hybrid scheme, 4-2-3-1, which will be transformed into 3-2-2-3 during the match. In fact, the teams can mirror each other. Barcelona's main task in both matches will be to minimize PSG's attacking potential as much as possible. Koundé, Cubarsi, Araujo, Christensen, Cancelo and Frenkie will have a lot of defensive work to do, and perhaps Xavi will use Araujo and Koundé personally against Dembele and Mbappe. Ronald has been dribbled past 0 times in this edition of the Champions League and is a kind of Barca's super weapon against Kylian and Ousmane. At the same time, Koundé has added significantly in form. But from another point of view, the personal play will be difficult to reproduce in the pitch, because Enrique can put Ousmane in the midfield diamond as an attacking midfielder, which he did in the return leg against Sociedad. So Barca can be quite chaotic in defense, therefore, it'll most likely be a very intense positional battle. In the first leg, Barcelona can exploit PSG's weakness on the right side of the defense, as Hakimi will miss the match due to suspension. The Cancelo-Rafinha link-up could be key, as it was in the return leg against Napoli. Barcelona believe that they can get past Paris Saint-Germain. There are 8 teams that are favorites. We knew that any opponent would be difficult, and PSG is no exception, but we know what we can give to win, Rafinha says. I'm sure we will play better against PSG. I think we will play the semifinals, Lewandowski confidently says. They have very dangerous players up front like Mbappe and Dembele. If we can control that and play our own game, we can hurt them. The team is on fire form right now, Fermin Lopez believes. Against PSG, we will play as always, with our game, with the 2 interiors, with the forwards. We will play as we know how, Lamine Yamal stated. Mbappe is a great player, and for me now, he's the most dangerous player in 1 versus 1s. I don't know what position I will play, but I know his quality. They also have Dembele, who was with us. He is also good in 1-on-1s, and we will try to confront them, Ronald Araujo said about the formula for success versus PSG. I think that playing the second leg in our stadium will be a good thing for us. And these are the words of Joao Felix. If Xavi manages to unravel Luis Enrique's tactical plans and neutralize Dembele and Mbappe, Barcelona have good grounds to challenge Paris Saint-Germain, who are considered the bigger favorites in this pair. The key for Barça is to take Kylian and Ousmane out of PSG's team balance. The plan for the game in Paris is a low defensive block with counter-attacks, where Yamal, Rafinha and Lewandowski will play a crucial role. And perhaps also Vitor Roque, an explosive forward who feels great on the counter-attacks, will shine. In the home game, Barça will have to take control of the game and try to catch PSG on the counter-attack again, as the Parisians sometimes suffer because of the unbalanced play. The match against Newcastle in the UCL group stage was particularly disastrous. The main thing that Xavi should remember is no defensive high line, and only then will Barça have a chance to reach the semifinals. Controlling the speed of the match, preventing Mbappe and Dembele from 1 versus 1 situations, and converting their own chances is the cocktail of victory that Xavi should have. And let's not forget about the Enrique factor. Paris Saint-Germain are not as scary as they may seem on paper, and in this video, we explained what are the extra arguments in Barca's favor. What do you think? Can Barca get past PSG? Write your thoughts in the comments. Vamosito channel was with you. Watch the other suggested videos and stay tuned.